They say every neighborhood has its legend, but ours didn't come with ghost stories or haunted houses. It came wrapped in blonde highlights, oversized sunglasses, and a voice that could peel paint off a wall. Rachel, our self proclaimed HOA queen, strutted around like she was auditioning for a low budget reality show. She wasn't just nosy, no, she was a full blown neighborhood tyrant, writing fines for things like grass blades too tall or patio furniture too colorful. If she could have charged me for breathing too loudly, she would have stapled the invoice to my front door. Welcome to HOA Karen Chronicles. Comment which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story goes. Now, let me tell you about Max, my four-legged best friend. Max isn't just a dog. He's my shadow, my buddy, the kind of loyal pup who will sit through a bad football game with you without judgment. Everybody adored him, from the mailman to the kids who played in the street. Everybody except Rachel. For reasons known only to the universe, she saw Max as some kind of criminal mastermind plotting to overthrow her HOA kingdom. One afternoon, she stormed up to my porch, banging like she was the sheriff of suburbia. "Your dog," she screeched, "is disrupting the neighborhood serenity with his constant barking." I looked down at Max, who was wagging his tail softly, barely making a sound. His bark was more like a polite cough, the kind you'd hear from a librarian. I laughed, told her, "Rachel, dogs bark? It's normal." That set her off like a volcano. She demanded I remove Max from the property. I told her Max wasn't going anywhere. She stomped off like she'd just lost an election. Days later, Max vanished. Panic punched me in the gut. I searched everywhere, yards, parks, even storm drains. I knocked on doors asking neighbors if they'd seen him. Everyone was sympathetic, except Rachel, who smirked and said, "Maybe the noisy mutt finally ran off." My suspicion needle went straight into the red zone. Thing is, I wasn't clueless. 2 years earlier, Max had disappeared in our old neighborhood. A good Samaritan found him then, and after that, I'd strapped a tracking chip onto his collar. This time, I activated it. The signal pinged from somewhere out in the woods, a creepy little cabin. I grabbed some friends and we drove out, hearts pounding. And there he was, my boy, locked in a cage without food, dirty, scared, but alive. I swear my blood boiled hotter than a July barbecue left unattended. Seeing Max trapped in that filthy cage was like stepping into some twisted horror movie where the villain wasn't a masked psycho, but a middle-aged HOA president with a superiority complex. My buddies were right behind me, and when they saw Max, jaws dropped. "Bro, this is next level crazy," one of them muttered, shaking his head. I opened the cage, scooped Max up, and felt his little heartbeat pounding against my chest. He licked my face like he was saying, "Finally, dude. What took you so long?" My hands shook with equal parts relief and fury. Who in their right mind kidnaps a dog for barking? Oh, right, Rachel. The woman who once fined a neighbor because their inflatable Christmas Santa was offensive to the HOA aesthetic. We snapped pictures, videos, every angle possible. Documentation was key. My friend, always the sarcastic one, whispered, "Bro, she's about to get Netflix special levels of exposure when this gets out." But first things first, we needed the law on our side. We drove straight to the police station. Imagine the officer's face when I explained, "Yes, sir, our HOA president stole my dog and stashed him in a cabin in the woods like she's running some kind of canine prison camp." At first, he blinked, probably thinking I was pulling a prank. Then I showed him the tracking app, the pictures, the videos. His brows furrowed, and he nodded slowly. "All right, this is serious." Serious was an understatement. Officers rolled out to the cabin that same evening. Rachel wasn't there when they arrived, but evidence was everywhere. Empty food bowls, chains, even a notebook with scribbles like, "Dog control plan." I don't know if she thought she was Dr. Evil or Snow White's angry stepmother, but she was spiraling. They put out a warrant for her arrest, and let me tell you, karma has perfect comedic timing. The very next HOA meeting, Rachel strutted in like usual, clipboard in hand, ready to terrorize people about lawn violations. Mid-rant about garbage cans visible from the street, two officers walked in. The room went dead silent. The neighbors froze, popcorn practically materializing in their hands. "Rachel Summers?" one officer asked. Her face dropped faster than the stock market in '08. "You're under arrest for animal cruelty and kidnapping." The gasp from the crowd was better than a reality show cliffhanger. Even Mr. Jenkins, who usually snored through these meetings, was wide awake, whispering, "Finally." If you're enjoying the story so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. The news of Rachel's arrest spread faster than gossip at a beauty salon. By morning, our quiet little suburb was buzzing. People whispered on sidewalks, text chains exploded, and the Facebook neighborhood group, which Rachel once ruled like a tyrant, was lit up with memes of her face, photoshopped behind bars. Someone even made a TikTok remix of her screeching at past HOA meetings with the caption, "When you arrest a dog but get arrested yourself." Over 200K views in a day. Delicious. But the true downfall wasn't just the arrest, it was everything that came after. Court hearings revealed she'd been stockpiling complaints for years, not just against me, but against half the neighborhood. She had binders labeled with people's names, full of petty notes like "front yard smells like barbecue too often" or "holiday lights too tacky." When the judge read that aloud, even the stenographer laughed. Max became a local hero. The police posted a photo of him on their social media page, captioned "rescued and safe after being kidnapped by HOA president." He looked proud, tongue out, wearing a police bandana. My neighbors printed it on t-shirts. Kids started chanting "Justice for Max" whenever they saw Rachel's empty house. But here's the part that made Karma's hammer hit nuclear. Rachel thought she'd skate with a slap on the wrist. Nope. The evidence was overwhelming. Animal cruelty, trespassing, theft. The judge, clearly fed up with her nonsense, slammed down the gavel with the force of thunder. Rachel wasn't just fined, she was sentenced to community service cleaning dog shelters. Irony so thick you could spread it on toast. Imagine her, scooping poop for the very animals she despised. The HOA board voted unanimously to boot her out as president. They replaced her with the nicest old lady on the block, Mrs. Delgado, who bakes cookies for everyone. Suddenly, the neighborhood felt alive again, kids laughing outside, neighbors grilling without fear of unauthorized smoke, decorations shining bright without threats of fines. As for Rachel, she became the town's walking punchline. At the grocery store, people barked softly when she walked past. One guy even tied a squeaky toy to her car antenna. She moved out eventually, unable to stand the humiliation. Her legacy? Being the Karen who got arrested for kidnapping a dog because she couldn't handle a bark softer than a hiccup. And me? I got Max back. We sat on my porch that night, him curled at my feet, while the whole street celebrated. Neighbors raised their glasses, laughing, cheering. Rachel's reign was officially over, and peace had finally returned. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this.